Yo, what's going on guys? It's Bertrude, welcome back to the channel. Today we're using the lightning blade, and this build is all about using weapons that deal lightning damage. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at it in more detail. This is a level 80 build. We're going with 40 vigour, then we've got 40 dexterity and 11 faith. It's mainly a dex build with a little bit of faith on the side. In our flask, we're using the lightning shrouding crater to boost our lightning attacks, and the faith knot to boost our faith, which allows us to use all of our incantations. And here's a quick look at the armour and talismans that we're using on the build. Our weapons include the Godskin Peeler with the Ash of War lightning slash. Then we also have a rapier on the build with the Ash of War Thunderbolt. Then we also have the Veteran's Prosthesis with the super stylish Ash of War Storm Kick. Then finally we have the Stormhawk Axe with the deadly Thunderstorm Ash of War. And then to finish the build off, we have two incantations available to use, the first one being Lightning Spear, and we also have Dragonbolt's Blessing. Two really cool incantations that really fit the theme of the build. And that's the build guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video. We're only about 50 subs away now from reaching the huge milestone of 1,000 subs. Anyway, it's time for you lot to sit back, relax and enjoy the video. So at the start of every single invasion I do using this build, I like to use Dragonbolt's Blessing before I get stuck into the action. If you didn't know, Dragonbolt's Blessing bolsters our body with lightning, and it actually makes attacks on smaller weapons bounce off us. It's a really handy tool to have on your kit, especially on a lightning build, because it makes their attacks stun them for a brief moment after they try to strike us with the weapons. Obviously this doesn't happen with larger weapons such as colossal weapons. Their attacks just poise through and actually don't bounce off us, but any smaller attacks with weapons such as katanas or straight swords just bounce off us and actually stun them for a brief moment. We got a nice kill on the host there in our first invasion. We did some damage with the Veteran's Prosthesis and then did a quick swap to our rapier and got the kill with the Thunderbolt Ash of War. That's such an effective way to finish off low health players, and it's definitely not going to be the last time you see it throughout this video. Again here we apply Dragonbolt's Blessing before we get stuck into the action, and then we go and see what's waiting for us in this invasion. I soon noticed that I'm dealing with a party of 3, a horse and his summon, and they've also got a blue involved in this one, so this is quite a tricky situation from it, especially seeing as they're in quite a tight corridor there. If I go and attack them just straight off the bat, I could get blended very easily, so I've got to take my time, and as you can see here, I'm just trying to goad one of them into attacking me. I'm trying to split up the group and wait for my moment to maybe inflict some damage. I'm just trying to split them up and make one of them make a move. The horse gets a bit giddy there and comes for me, and that encourages the other two to come down as well, and this is exactly what I want. I go for the Ash of War with the Stormhawk Axe, and I don't manage to actually hit anyone, but they're still being super aggressive, so I go for it again, and I manage to kill the summon and this host. And that's what you've got to do with this build. If you're facing a tough gank where you think the regular weapons might not cut it, we've got the Stormhawk Axe in our offhand that we can always switch to do some big damage and maybe pull out a win. I face another trio in this invasion, and it was all acting a little bit strange. I've got one of them here who's trying to act all honourable, giving me a bow, while I've got the second summon just constantly spamming me with magic, so I'm not really sure initially how to approach this one. But the obvious target is the guy who's spamming the magic at me, and it seems for now like the other summon is happy to let us just have this one-on-one. That is until I start getting the upper hand, and then the summon, there we go, just as I expected. He started to get the upper hand on one of them, and then the summon jumps in to try and save his buddy. It definitely goes without saying that you should never trust a party of 3 when you've got someone trying to act honourable. Just take it as if you're going to get ganked. Expect it, and you won't be disappointed when it inevitably does happen. Anyway, we managed to take out the first summon there, and now I've got to put a bit of pressure on the second summon while his host still isn't anywhere to be seen. So for now, I can just treat it as a one-on-one, but I do have to keep my wits about me because the host could turn up at any moment. Turns out the host was just around the corner, so I don't have to go and find him and wait too long before I can just get this invasion done and dusted. We'll land a nice bit of damage with the initial part of the Ash of War from the veteran prosthesis, and we're unlucky not to land the follow-up because that would have surely killed him. But he's on the back foot now. It's just a case of keeping up the pressure, keeping those attacks coming in with the veteran prosthesis, and we've always got the rapier with the Thunderbolt Ash of War to finish him off if we get him low health. Nice couple of attacks there, and just as I just said, low health, Thunderbolt Ash of War finishes him off nicely. I can't emphasise enough how handy it is to have Thunderbolt on the offhand weapon. It's just such a good way to finish opponents off when they're at low health, and that's the way I like to use it. You see people using the Ash of War and they just spam the hell out of it. They'll spend the whole invasion just spamming it, and it can be really oppressive and quite hard to deal with. That's not the way I'm going to use it on a build. If I'm using it, I'm going to use it for one reason only, and that's just to fire it off when I've got them low health and finish them off. It's a really stylish way to do it, and the way I think that Ash of War deserves to be used. There's another good example of it coming up here. We've just had a good one-on-one with the Godskin Stitcher. It's a quick swap to the rapier to finish him off with the Thunderbolt Ash of War. As I said, that's the way I like to use it. I'm not going to spam it. I'm going to get them to low health with my regular weapons, and then if the occasion suits, I've always got the quick swap option with the rapier to finish the job. I spawned into this invasion and got some good early damage outside the fog wall for the boss fight. I got the host really low health, and that would have been an easy kill. I could have ended that invasion there and then, but I didn't want it to be over so quickly. I wanted to give these two a chance to have a bit of a fight, so I back off and give them a chance to heal up, and then I can re-engage. The summon's doing some good pressure work with the whip. That could be quite hard to deal with, and they're both being quite aggressive. So I've got to watch my space in here, try and not get caught out with too many attacks, and then see what I can do to deal with these two. They've done a really good job doing a lot of damage so far, and I'm starting to wish maybe I should have just killed them at the start, but this is a proper good opportunity to use a Stormhawk axe. We're in a tight space, the host is being aggressive rushing in, we get the Stormhawk axe out, and it's an easy kill. That's another weapon that can become a bit too prominent in a build, I think. It's a really handy weapon to have on this one because it can get you out of a lot of tricky situations when you're against 2 or 3 players who are being quite aggressive. It's a really good weapon option to use, but I think it's, like I said, it could be too much of a prime feature, and using that Ash of War all the time may just become a bit too predictable, maybe a bit too easy, because it is very powerful. I like to have it on the build and use it just when I really need it. If I've exhausted all of my other options and I'm really struggling with a group, I'm struggling to maybe take 1 or 2 of them out, if I've got an aggressive gank who's not giving me any time or space to do any work, that's when I'll look to the Stormhawk axe to maybe sneak a kill. As you could see on this occasion, I had a couple of players here who was being super aggressive and I weren't getting a lot of time or space, so it was a prime opportunity to get the Stormhawk axe out and bring that invasion to a close. Otherwise, I might have not got the win there. So like I said, it's a good weapon to have in the offhand to use it when I think that I really need it. I've invaded this solo host who's busy with the dragon here, and I run over thinking maybe I can get a cheeky kill. It's not something I'm always super proud of doing, but on this occasion I felt like it was far enough away from the dragon for us to have quite a fair fight. I hit him with a lightning pot and do some good damage, and then I'm able to finish him off with the Ash of War on the Godskin Peeler. The lightning slash is a really good Ash of War and it does some really good damage, and then it does give us some extra lightning damage on the weapon afterwards. But yeah, it's just a really cool Ash of War to use, and on this build it really suits. And then the dragon's coming over wondering what all the commotion was. He looked proper interested there. Like, I think he enjoyed the fight. So I've got a good idea where this next invasion is going to take place, and I use a Dragonbolt Blessing before I approach it in order to get ready for the fight ahead. It turns out it's a duo up in this top room in the capital. Really cool place to fight, it's like a little mini arena, and they are putting a lot of pressure on me, so the sensible thing to do here would have probably been to back off down the stairs and maybe try and draw them out of this room, but I had a feeling that they weren't going to follow me if I did back off and try and run away. So, you know, that's not always how I like to approach invasions. This is where they both were. They obviously wanted to fight me up here, And although it is a bit tricky because I've not many places to hide, there's no cover, I'm a little bit exposed, I'm happy to take them on at their own game. And there you go, we get a nice kill on the summon with the Ash of War and the Veteran's Prosthesis again. Such a cool Ash of War, and now it's just a case of finishing off the host. And at this point I was really glad that I did decide to stay in and fight them where they wanted to fight, because that turned out to be a super satisfying invasion. I've spawned into the Hallowhorn Grounds area for this next invasion, and I absolutely love fighting down here. To be honest, any of the underground areas I think make for a really good location for invasions. And there are some really good sources of PvE support down here as well if you need them. There's some good strong enemies. And I think PvE support is exactly what I'm going to need for this invasion. Look at the state of these two, talk about absolute nightmare fuel. They're both using a double Colossal Sword setup, and they're just trying to absolutely squash me. I eat a hell of a lot of damage there when I jump and attack, and the jumping attacks keep coming in. They're putting me under so much pressure, they're doing a lot of damage. I've really got to try and back up and get myself a bit of space, but they're being super aggressive. I go for the Ash of War here on the Stormhawk Axe because I'm running out of options, and they managed to kill me. Not really much of a surprise, they was being so aggressive and he was doing so much damage, but no humility in victory. They absolutely spammed the hell out of me with the teabags, and that definitely did get under my skin. But we get our chance for revenge because the very next invasion we spawn into the same spot against the same duo, only this time we've got an invasion partner with us, so we're not on our own. The support obviously didn't last too long there. The invasion partner got absolutely squashed just as I did in the first invasion. These two were putting out so much damage. I've really got to duck and weave. As you can see here, I went for the Stormhawk Axe because I wouldn't have survived if I tried to roll away and heal up. I had to get them to back off me somehow, and the Stormhawk Axe there was the only way I was going to do that. It made them back off because I did a lot of damage, and in turn it allowed me to back off and heal up. Now talk about the jumping attacks, that's nothing when you consider their own use of the Lightning Bolt. Remember earlier when I spoke about the Lightning Bolt and I mentioned that I really didn't like to spam it on my build? Well, these two obviously don't agree with it. For these two players, spam is definitely on the menu. In fact, spam is the favourite food of all. I know that I've got some PvE support close by here, so I back up to try and get a bit of help. And as I do, I notice that we get another invader into this invasion, so there is hope yet. And as you can see, look at that for a name, Ball Cheese. What an absolute legend. So now we're back to a 2-on-2, and just watch how the attitude of these two changes when it's a fair 2-on-2 fight. Our fellow invader puts a little bit of pressure on the summon with me, but shortly he splits off to go and focus on the host, which allows me to focus on the summon here. And just look at the difference in his whole approach to this fight now. Earlier when he was 2-on-1, they were spamming me, there was jumping attack, there was non-stop pressure, being really overly confident. And now look at him, he's running like a scalded dog. He doesn't know what to do, he's got no answer for the little bit of pressure that I'm applying to him. I managed to do some good damage, I'm whittling him away slowly. We get him low down there, and then we manage to finish him off with the rapier. And you're goddamn right, you're going to taste my balls now after earlier. Ooh, do you like that, sir? Do my balls taste good, sir? How about another one for you, sir? Little teabag? Anyway, that's the summon dead. Now it's just a case of finishing off the host, and he's going to taste my balls as well. Revenge is definitely a dish best served cold. I realise that I've not actually mentioned the incantation Lightning Spear yet during this video. It is an incantation that's part of the build, along with the Dragonbolt's Blessing. And to be honest, it's not something that's going to do a hell of a lot of damage. Obviously we did a nice bit of damage there off the charged attack, but I usually don't have time to fully charge it when I use it. It's just a really cool incantation that just suits the theme of the build. It's not going to go, doing any 2 million damage hits, it's not going to one-shot anyone. It just fits the bill nicely. It's good for a bit of mid to long range harassment. We can throw a couple of them out there just to get them on the toes, get them moving a little bit, and if it connects, then that's a bonus, and I'm happy to take the little bit of damage that it may well do. But as I said, it's not going to one-shot anyone, it just really fits the theme. We're a lightning build, and it's a lightning spear that we're throwing at someone. You know, it just can't get any more perfect in terms of a style and a theme. Now I've got to admit, this was a super cool invasion. I love fighting players like this guy, this summon here. Look at him, he's just running through the game, playing with 2 shields. What more can you ask for from someone than that? I managed to get a backstab on him, but yeah, super respect to this guy. He's literally using a shield to go through the game and help his buddy out. Gotta respect it, absolutely no issues with this. I think it's super cool, and it does make for a really cool fight. I actually do use that great shield myself for one of my builds, and the Ash of War shield crash that he's using on it is awesome. It can do some really big bleed build up, and it can lead to getting some really stylish kills. So yeah, I've nothing but respect to this summon using the shield, and as I said, this invasion was a real fun one. This fight actually turned out to be quite a challenge. Obviously he's blocking a lot of my attacks with the shield as he's attacking himself, but he was leaving himself open to some attacks from the side as he charged past me with the shield. But he was quite tanky and he was blocking a lot of my attacks and stuff, but we managed to get an opening here with the Stormhawk axe. That shows just how difficult it was that I had to turn to the axe to get the kill. But yeah, mad respect, great fight. And the horse as well, mad respect, because he just stood back and let me and the summon have that really awesome little one-on-one. He makes the wrong decision here to run for the ladder, and we're able to kill him and get the win in this invasion. But yeah, super fun guys. I really loved that invasion. Hats off to both of you. Now this was an interesting little encounter. We're in the shaded castle and I know exactly where the host is, so I begin my journey to make my way up to him. And I find him up here. I open up with a lightning pot, follow that up with a lightning spear, and I'm just waiting for him to do something. I'm expecting an attack, I'm expecting him to heal. He's running away for now, but I'm waiting for him to do something. I'm waiting, nothing. Well, I'll just kill you then. I just thought that was a funny little encounter. And fashionably late here, his summon turns up. I'm sorry man, he's already dead. We're in the mountain tops to face this duo, and they're busy taking on this giant. Unfortunately, they just managed to kill it before I can get in there and take advantage of the distraction. So it's a 2-on-1, and the summon is spamming the Moonveil as they always do. So I do really have to be careful here. There's no doubt he's going to do a lot of damage. And to make things worse, the host is spamming magic at us from behind as well. So yeah, I've got to be on my toes. And it actually looked like the giant was still alive back there. I think they might have just completely bailed on that fight once he knew I was there. But initially I thought that they killed it, so fair play to them, they actually made the right decision there to bail on the fight and focus on getting to the Grace. But anyway, we managed to take out the summon, and the horse is running to the Grace to get the checkpoint, which is fair enough, no issues with this. This is probably what he should have done in this situation. But it's just me and him now, and he's all mine. He's got no one here to help him. Let's see what we can do. As you can see, he's clearly not invested a lot into his vigour. We're doing a hell of a lot of damage with single attacks on the Godskin Peeler. So I can really take my time with this one because I know I'm not in much trouble of having him out damage me before I can kill him with his low vigour pool. So we can take our time and try and get a stylish kill. But unfortunately guys, this is actually the last invasion of the video. I hope you've had a good time watching this one. I had an absolute blast doing these invasions, putting this video together. But yeah, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content guys. But besides that, you lot take it easy, look after yourselves, look after each other, and I'll see you all next time.